What do one of Manhattan's most fabled skyscrapers, a legendary Long Island estate, and a castle in the Thousand Islands all have in common? Hi everyone, Ken here. Today we are uncovering the architectural legacy of the Singer Sewing Company. Hit that subscribe button and let's explore this house. Frederick Bourne came to the world in poverty. In the 1860s, he moved with his family to New York City as his parents sought a better life. By the age of 11, he was a member of the choir at Holy Trinity Church, and his educational journey took him through the public schools of New York. At 14, however, he had to enter the workforce to support his widowed mother and younger sisters, taking on several jobs just to keep food on the table. Nevertheless, he found time to enjoy his youth. Bourne's affinity for music led him to the Mendelssohn Glee Club, where he struck up an unlikely friendship with the extremely wealthy Alfred Clark, the son of the Singer Manufacturing Company's co-founder, Edward Clark. This connection proved fortuitous, as Clark sympathized with Bourne's situation and recommended him to his father, leading to Frederick being offered his first well-paying job in managing the Dakota's construction and eventually the Clark estate after Edward Clark's death in 1882. By 1889, at the age of 38, Bourne had climbed the ladder Clark extended to him, ascending to the presidency of the Singer Manufacturing Company. Under his leadership, Singer transformed into one of the world's first modern multinational industrial enterprises. Having grown up in extreme poverty, Bourne knew firsthand how unobtainable certain necessities could be. He introduced innovative business strategies, which made Singer sewing machines accessible to households worldwide, regardless of their income level. He was a pioneer in vertical integration, significantly enhancing the company's production and sales capabilities on a global scale. By meeting consumers at their comfort level, Singer sewing machines became a household product spanning beyond the confines of social class. Now with one of the most recognizable brands on the planet, he decided to leave an unforgettable mark on Manhattan's skyline with the creation of the Singer Building, which would become the tallest building in the world. This early skyscraper, a marvel of its time, stood at the northwestern corner of Liberty Street and Broadway in the financial district. Designed by renowned architect Ernest Flagg, the Singer Building was constructed in phases from 1897 to 1908, showcasing elements of Beaux-Arts and French Second Empire architectural styles. The project began with the original 10-story Singer Building at 149 Broadway. It was followed closely by the construction of the 14-story Bourne Building on Liberty Street. These two buildings formed the base of what would become an architectural giant. By the early 20th century, Bourne, driven by his ambition to create a symbol of industrial power and innovation, initiated the expansion that would result in the towering Singer Building. Ernest Flagg's design for the Singer Building incorporated advanced construction techniques and materials. The facade was composed of red brick, light-colored stone, and decorative terracotta, with a steel skeleton providing structural support. The foundation, excavated using caissons, ensured stability for the towering structure. It rose to a roof height of 612 feet, crowned by a dome with a lantern, making it the tallest building in the world upon its completion in 1908. The construction process was a feat of engineering and coordination. Over 40 companies and nearly 100 construction contracts were involved. The building's design included innovative features such as a height-to-width ratio of 7:1 and extensive use of terracotta for both the facade and interior partitions. The Singer Tower, as it came to be known, was a 41-story addition above the base, with each floor measuring 65 by 65 feet. The tower's construction involved meticulous planning and execution, with steel columns spaced 12 feet apart and a central structure supporting the elevators and connecting the corners. The dome and lantern at the pinnacle of the tower added to its grandeur, bringing the total height to 674 feet when including the flagpole. Upon its completion, the Singer Tower was not just a building, but a symbol of modernity and progress. The building featured a marble-clad entrance lobby, 16 elevators, and 410,000 square feet of office space. All throughout the public areas, no expense was spared on artisan finishes and extensive stone relief work. On the upper floors, the tower housed the offices of the Singer Manufacturing Company, while the lower floors were leased to various tenants, generating significant rental income. Bourne's success afforded him the means to indulge in various other architectural pursuits. In 1902, Bourne once again commissioned architect Ernest Flagg to design a small hunting lodge on Dark Island in the Thousand Islands region. Inspired by Sir Walter Scott's Woodstock, the resulting Singer Castle featured secret passageways and medieval-style architecture, showcasing Bourne's taste for grandeur and adventure. His country estate, Indian Neck Hall in Oakdale, New York, exemplified Gilded Age opulence. When it was finished in 1897, the mansion was said to have been the largest ever built on Long Island. Once again, Bourne hired his choice architect, Ernest Flagg, to create the rambling Federal Revival-style mansion with an 80-foot greenhouse extending from its side. The grounds spanned over 1,000 acres with dozens of outbuildings. Not only were the full-time staff given their own cottages on the property, but guest homes were scattered all about the grounds. Perhaps the most impressive of the outbuildings was the stable. Its footprint extended 165 feet wide with a depth of 200 feet, allowing for ample interior space for the horses and workers. As we leave the stables, we see the house off in the distance. Let's go explore its lavish interior. The music room was designed to be dominated by a pipe organ extending between the walls to the second story. At the opposite end of the room, across the polished parquet floors, we find a grand piano nestled up to the fireplace, giving us a true sense for the scale of this room. The library continues with the same flooring, introducing half-height bookcases to skirt the walls. Next we'll find the drawing room, with wall panels covered over in brocade and cherry wood millwork concealed beneath a white enamel finish. And tying together all of these finishes is the dining room, and while the table is casually set for 10, when its leaves were in place, it would take up nearly the entire room. Bourne lived out the rest of his life in architectural splendor, passing away in this house in 1919. Soon after, his properties began to change hands as his heirs divided up his assets. Despite its status as a city icon, the Singer building was demolished between 1967 and 1969 to make way for One Liberty Plaza, a structure offering several times more office space. At the time of its demolition, the Singer building was the tallest building ever to be lost, a record which it held until the tragic events of September of 2001. Thankfully, Singer Castle continues to stand, but I know we're all wondering what happened to Indian Neck Hall. The Long Island estate was conveyed to LaSalle Military Academy in 1926, before changing hands one more time to St. John's University in 2001. Thankfully, it continues to stand to this day, with many of its original features still intact. What did you think about Bourne's architectural legacy? Did you prefer his skyscraper or his residences? Let me know down below in the comments section. I'd also like to take a moment to say a huge thank you to my This House supporters for making videos like this one possible. If you would like to help fund the research, licensing, and video production, go ahead and join the membership program today and become a This House supporter or a preservation patron. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time on This House.